Yes, I have PJs on, alright? I just need to look presentable from the waist up. Hey, hi, hello, welcome back to my channel, my book-loving friends. My name's Christine if you're new here, and today we're going to talk some audiobook recommendations. Alright, welcome to the start of a very cozy type of chill video. I have 8 audiobooks I'm going to go ahead and recommend to you guys. I am an avid audiobook listener. I listen to many audiobooks. I'm constantly listening to countless audiobooks, and it's the only way I actually managed to reach over 80 books read this year. So I'm gonna get into it, and I hope you guys enjoy them. I think I'm actually gonna start making this like a filming angle because, one, I'm so comfortable. I'm just chilling on my couch. You got the Christmas tree in the background, even though you can't see the ornaments because I didn't have enough to actually fill the whole damn Christmas tree, but it's fine. I also have my almond milk latte that, by the way, Naomi is hyping up. Yes, it is delicious, but I love the fact that she loved it so much she still talks about it. Alright, so we all know I have a list. So I have a list of 8 audiobooks I would probably recommend to almost every single person, but all these audiobooks I absolutely adored, and they're probably one of my favorite. These are my favorite audiobooks I think I've ever listened to. There's a mix of a lot of genres. We even have a nonfiction book in here. Who would have known? I do own a lot of these books, so I might be getting up. I probably should get up because I own like 7 of the books. Okay, let me go get these 7 books real quick and then we'll come back. Let's get into the freaking videos. I'm not trying to make this a long video because I still want to chill out before work. Alright, so the first audiobook I'm going to mention is probably my favorite all-time audiobook I've ever listened to. And it's Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This audiobook is the funniest audiobook I've ever listened to. Literally, the narrator is super duper funny. It's extremely well told. Honestly, I would probably recommend any of the Brown sisters. I believe Dani Brown also has a pretty good one, but I listened to only Eve Brown. But Eve Brown, I read audibly. Can't speak, but it was fantastic. I loved this audiobook. It was so well done, so well told, so funny, and extremely fast to just fly through. Obviously I do have the physical copy, even though I did listen to most of it audibly. But I had pre-ordered this because, you know, we're gonna support our authors. Thank you. Okay, so, alright, so the next audiobook, also another one of my favorites, and that is Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. We all know I stan Taylor Jenkins Reid, but Daisy Jones and the Six is actually a full casted audiobook, which makes it extremely fun to listen to. The interview portion of it is extremely well done. All the characters make it a very fun. It's just a really fun audiobook to listen to, and I think the full cast of characters really makes it feel like an actual, like, full-blown production, and it's superb. If I was to recommend probably any audio for literally just any reader, and specifically just any reader, Daisy Jones and the Six would probably be my recommendation, just for the pure fact of the fact that it is full cast, so it's easy to kind of keep up with and know which character's which, because Daisy Jones and the Six does have a couple of characters to keep up with. And yeah, I just think that this is a fantastic audiobook. I'm not going to go into full synopses because we all know I'm not good at those. But this is a fantastic audiobook. I think it's extremely fun. It's really easy to listen to and really easy to keep up with, especially if you're new to audiobooks. This is a fantastic way to start listening to them. I should probably also mention that I listen to so many audiobooks, but I listen to a lot through my library. I would highly recommend, if you guys have a library, go to your local library, get a library card, and listen to audiobooks. There are 2 apps I use specifically, and they are Libby and Hoopla. And I listen to countless audiobooks all the time. And I also use Scribd, which is only $9.99 a month. And I also have a subscription to Libro. Libro is kind of like an Audible, but it's better. So Libro, I think you also pay like $14.99 a month, and you get 1 credit each and every single month. But each and every single time you actually make a purchase at Libro, you support your local independent bookstore. And I support my local independent bookstore, which is Here's the Story in Union, New Jersey. If you guys are around, go check him out. He's fantastic. I love him. Alright, so the next audiobook is, honestly, it's just a really good freaking story, and I listened to most of it audibly, so I'm going to count it. And this is a book that's going to be in my top 10 of the year, no matter what. And that is Ace of Spades by Farida Abiki Iyamidi. Still can't say it, but I know her name's Farida. She's gorgeous. This book will take you places. And the audiobook is very well done. Extremely well done. The narrators in this book are fantastic. The way they narrate everything is so impactful. Like, you can't stop listening to it. I did have this physically, but I did listen to the audiobook the entire time. I listened to a majority of this book on audio while at work doing a whole bunch of paperwork, and I couldn't stop listening to it. Like, this is an audiobook that you're going to want to continue listening to, and you binge. I binged this book in like 24 hours. Like, literally in the matter of like a day or two, I finished this entire book. And it's not a short book, but the audiobook is just that good. It just keeps your attention right on it. Like, you just can't put it down. And the way the narrators told the story was fantastic. It was extremely well produced. It was extremely well done. I could not get enough. I recommend this book to every single person ever. Even if you're new to reading, even if you don't want to listen to an audio, I think this is a fantastic book to get readers into reading. Even though it's a YA book, it's so good. It's also extremely easy to get into, and trust me when I tell you guys, the audiobook is so well done. So I would definitely recommend the audiobook to this for anyone, not a specific reader, but just any single reader that just wants to listen to an audiobook to kill some time. This book is fantastic. Okay, so the fourth book on this list is actually one of my favorite audiobooks for a very specific reason, and it's actually a reason about the author, but we'll get into that. The book is The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter by Theodore. Guys, this audiobook is freaking hilarious. I can't talk about how funny this freaking book is. So you're following Mary Jekyll, and you're kind of following a whole bunch of like other really fun characters. Like, you're following Edward Hyde's daughter, I believe, as well. And there's like a Frankenstein and everything. It's a very fun book. But the one thing this book does that I love the absolute most is it breaks the fourth wall. If you guys don't know what that means, when you break the fourth wall, you're kind of talking to the reader. So the author in this book will kind of like be telling somebody's story, and then she'll break. Like, let's say she's telling Catherine's story, and Catherine's like, I never said that. And then Mary will be like, well, you're not the one writing the book. I am. And I think that's more entertaining than what you actually said. And then they'll go back into the story. And I think that is so funny. And the way that it's narrated is hilarious. Like, honestly, the way it's narrated is so funny. I can't get enough of it. I think that this audiobook is just fantastic. Like, it's just fantastic. Honestly, you won't stop laughing when listening to it. This is pushing on fantasy, I believe. Really good, y'all. It's like really good. It is part of a series. This is the first book in a, I believe, 3-book trilogy. I've yet to get my hands on the other 2, but I'm hoping to get them very soon, and I can't wait to continue the series. Also, the book in itself is actually really pretty. But it's just, it's so good. Like, it's so good. I would highly recommend checking out this audiobook. It is one of the funniest audiobooks I've ever listened to, if not the funniest audiobook I've ever listened to, because trust me when I tell you, you won't be able to stop laughing when listening to this book. You just won't. So the 5th audiobook is actually a book I don't own because I did listen to it audibly the entire time, but it is the Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang. So the Kiss Quotient by Helen Huang is so good. I listened to the entirety of this audiobook in like 24 hours. The reason I even picked this up was because of Jan. Jan literally was like, girl, you gotta pick this book up because you'll love it. It's a fantastic romance. It's extremely like fast-paced. You get through it very fast. The audiobook is really well narrated. It's a very cute, cheesy romance that you kind of just can't get enough of. I really do want to pick up the other 2 books in this series. So this is kind of like the Brown Sisters trilogy, where you don't have to read them in order. You can read them out of order, which is exactly what I did. The Kiss Quotient, I believe, is the 2nd book. And I do want to really read The Bride Test. I know Jan didn't like The Bride Test, but I feel like I might like it. The Kiss Quotient was so well done. There is representation for, I believe, is it Asperger's? I believe it's Asperger's. And it's very well done. I can't speak on the representation just because I don't know anyone who has Asperger's, nor do I have it, so I can't really speak much on it. But as far as I have seen, people say that the representation is pretty well done. I thought it was fantastic. I loved the whole, like, so in this book, she hires a male escort to teach her about sex because she doesn't really know. She wants to get more comfortable with it, blah blah. And it's so good. It's so good. I don't know what kind of trope it is, but it's one of my favorite tropes that I love listening to. I just love a good romance. I do listen to most of my romances on audio because I don't know what it is about a romance. It's just really fun to listen to. And the next book on here is actually a nonfiction book, which is probably the only nonfiction book I've read in a very long time. And that book is Becoming by Michelle Obama, y'all. This audiobook is good. When I read this, I believe like 2 years ago. And when I did read it, all I can remember is just Michelle talking to me. And me just being like, oh my God, I love her voice. So if you guys don't know, Michelle Obama does narrate Becoming. There's also Barack Obama's book, A Promised Land. I do own it. I haven't listened to it yet. But I will listen to it eventually. I don't know when, but I do own it. But Michelle Obama does narrate this book, and she does a fantastic job. I don't know what it is about her voice, but it's very soothing for some reason. And the way she tells, this is literally her life story, and I think it's fantastically done. You learn so much about her. There's also pictures in here that I really, really love. The physical book is also very, very nice and well done. Because, you know, she wrote it and she's queen. But this book, I think because it's narrated by Michelle Obama herself, it's absolutely fantastic to listen to. If you guys just need a book to kind of go to work and come back, like, this is fantastic. It is very, very long. I will tell you that. It's a very long book, but it's fantastic. It's very, very just, I can't really describe it all that much because it is her story to tell. And I think because it is freaking TV. I think because it is Michelle Obama herself telling you her life story, it's just that much more impactful. And it's actually also very motivating at the same time. So I would highly, highly recommend listening to Becoming by Michelle Obama because it's fantastic. And next, we actually have another audiobook that I absolutely adored. And that is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I love this book. I have read it twice. I read it physically the first time, audibly the second time. It's fantastic. Now, I read it physically the first time and loved it. And when I went to go listen to it the second time around, I could not believe how incredible Elizabeth Acevedo narrated this book. Like, she literally read this book like she was doing slam poetry. And it is the most impactful storytelling through poetry I think I've ever listened to. I listened to a couple poetry collections. I don't listen to a lot of them because I do prefer to physically read poetry. But this book, if you're going to listen to anything, listen to The Poet X. Just listen to The Poet X. It's fantastic. Okay, it's also Latina, so hello. I'm not Latina. I'm not Latina. She is. I'm white, everybody. If you guys can't tell, I'm white. But Elizabeth Acevedo is very, 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 very talented in more ways than one. She's fantastic. She's also Dominican, so that's great. My boyfriend's Dominican, so we love that. This book, though, not even, like, just everything else aside, there's a reason why there are so many awards on this book, and it's because it's well deserving of it. It's a fantastic book. It's also extremely short, very, very short audiobook. I don't think it's more than 4 hours long, and I would highly recommend it to every single person, especially high schoolers. I feel like it's great for, like, those juniors to seniors in high school, but I feel like any age can actually really just love and appreciate this book so much, especially the audiobook, because it's extremely well done. And the last book. The last book's actually one of the first books I read this year, and I absolutely loved and has stuck with me. And I think I might re-listen to it very, very soon. It's actually another poetry, and it's The Black Flamingo by Dean Atta. This book's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. If you guys watch Kevin from the Irish Reader, you know he loves this book and he's cried, I think, both times that he's read it. This book is fan-freaking-tastic. Like, honestly, the audiobook, extremely well done as well. I believe, actually, if I remember correctly, it's been a very long time since I read this book, but I believe Dean Atta is the one who actually narrates the book. And if you guys haven't seen this book without the dust jacket, like, it's just so pretty. It's like they're flamingos. Fantastic. This book does have LGBTQ rep in it. It's fantastic. The audiobook is extremely entertaining to listen to. It's also very, very short because the story is told in poetry. And the poetry in here is absolutely gorgeous. It's absolutely stunning. The writing is absolutely beautiful. I think everyone should read this. It's fantastic. I don't care what age demographic you are. I don't care that it's YA. I feel like this is a book that everyone should just listen to at least once in their life, because it just talks about so much that I feel like everyone should just listen to it. It's fan-freaking-tastic. But we did it! Oh my god, I filmed the video in under 20 minutes. Who is she? This is a very short video, but I didn't want to put too many audiobooks on here because I didn't want to talk for a very long time today. Not gonna lie. Books. Should I really be drinking coffee though? I don't know, but I have 2 shots of espresso in here. If you can't tell. But I hope you guys enjoyed that video. These are all audiobooks I recommend to every single human being. Like, honestly, these are amazing audiobooks. I highly recommend audiobooks. There are a million different ways you can listen to audiobooks. A lot of different platforms that you can do it. I would highly recommend going to support your local library and getting a library card, because one, it's free for the most part, and they're free audiobooks. Audiobooks are expensive, okay? And I feel like one of my favorite ways to listen to an audio is physically reading it alongside an audiobook, which I feel like is a lot of readers' favorite things to do, because it's just it's just so much more active to like listen to it and read it at the same time. But I'm not going to pay for the book twice unless it's like a book I desperately wanted for both. Look, we're getting off topic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please stay tuned for some more bookish content from me, and I'll see you guys in a video coming soon. Bye.